Hey, what's up, you guys? It is Wednesday night, and you know what that means? AEW Dynamite. We started off with an excellent match with Claudio Castagnoli versus Rey Fenix in a double Jeopardy match. Whoever wins get a title shot of the other opponent's title in the future. Don't know when that will be, but hopefully that will be soon. Now, I said last week that the best possible outcome here would be for Claudio Castagnoli to take the win. If you watch ROH, you'd know that they did start off pretty good with the ROH tag division, and then after the Supercard of Honor pay-per-view, I don't know what the hell happened, but we're going to need some help, which I do feel like Claudio and another member of BCC, since they're so over, would be the best choice with helping the ROH tag division get some help. So that's who we had winning this match, but it was an excellent match. Both guys are super competitive and very athletic, and they have their own styles, but they work so well. The chemistry was A+. I do have a strange complaint though. I feel like with someone like Claudio Castagnoli, his height and his body type, Hurricanrana looks so weird on him. I just feel like it's something about him selling it that just, I'm not buying it. It's something about it I just don't like. I feel like it just looks weird on camera. But either way, this was an excellent match. I really enjoyed this. Like I said, in terms of what scene needs more help, the tag scene needs so much help. So the right person won here. Claudio did try to hit a Ricola bomb on Fenix, but he countered that into a code red, and it looks so flawless. I absolutely love that part. Like I said, right guy won. Excellent match. If you didn't see it, go watch it. Dynamite definitely has some really great wrestling, but they also have like a little bit of a different format tonight, where it felt like we got less wrestling than usual, and we got to see a lot of video packages and things backstage, a lot more of that tonight compared to other night. But either way, it was a really enjoyable show, and they started off the night super strong with this match. Right after that match, we do have Miro, of all people, going into Tony Khan's office. More like barging in, because he ain't knock or anything. He just walks right on in, and I was so surprised to see him. I definitely enjoyed his time in AEW. However, I do feel like somewhere they messed things up with him. So I hope that, in the future we'll see better things. Hopefully they can put him back into the TNT title scene. Right after that, we get our first video package of the 4 pillars of AEW. We start off with a package of MJF. All the packages for each of these guys are really great. However, there are other more exciting storylines going on, like with the BCC and the Elite. So for whatever reason, it just feels a little flat with the storyline for the Triple B. I don't know what it is. It just seems like they just don't have anything going on this week for the big title. So I'm a little bit bored with that. Anyway, next we have FTR that comes out to the ring. Right after they come out, then we have Jay Lethal and friends coming out as well. They obviously won the title shot for the AEW tag titles. And out of the blue, we have our homie Mark Briscoe, who comes out with some liquor and some cups. I don't know what it is. Your girl's straight edge. I don't know nothing about liquor. But anyway, he comes out and he's announcing that he is the special guest referee. And I was like, hold on, that adds way too much drama into this storyline. But either way, he announces that. I guess everybody seems cool with that, since Mark is supposed to be neutral in the situation. He gives everybody a cup. Everybody's passing the drink around. And Sanjay Dutt, he drinks right out the bottle and spits it out right into Dax's eyes. And now Jay Lethal and Jeff Jarrett, they attack Cash, and they're going at it or whatnot. Dax can't see, and Jeff throws Mark Briscoe onto Dax, and Dax ended up attacking Mark Briscoe because he can't see, and the crowd is booing and saying you fucked up and all that. And honestly, it's interesting, but I still want them to get Mark Briscoe away from all this foolishness. We haven't been seeing him in ROH for quite some time, since the Supercard on the pay-per-view once again. So I kind of want him to just go back over there and stay away from these guys here. Either way, there's definitely complicates the drama between these guys, and we'll see how it plays out at Double or Nothing. Next, we have Chris Jericho confirming that he has gotten legal papers stating that Adam Cole can't be in the building whenever he's in the building. Then Roderick Strong comes out and basically saying that he's sticking up for his homie Adam Cole, and that he wants to have a match with Chris Jericho next week, a Falls Count Anywhere match, and that he also got legal documents stating that JAS cannot be in the building next week and obviously cannot interfere during their match. So that's going to be interesting. However, this is not what I thought would be happening with Roderick Strong coming into AEW, being wasted into some little foolishness storyline with my friend and his girlfriend type of thing. Like, I mean, I understand y'all cool or whatever, but it's like, this is not what I expected for Roderick. Either way, he's still going to have a singles match with Chris Jericho. I do have great expectations with that, especially with Chris Jericho being a vet that usually put people over. So we'll see what happens with that. So next we have Thunder Rosa. She's also barging into Tony's office. So we haven't seen her in a bit. Then after that, we have Tony Khan's announcement about there possibly being a new show for AEW. It doesn't necessarily says it in those words, but it seems like that's where they're going. So maybe they might have the rumored show, the AEW Collision show. I also feel like there's a possibility that they might add an extra hour to Rampage. Either way, Tony Khan is saying that this is one of the biggest announcements in AEW history. So we'll see what that is next week on Dynamite. So next we had the international title on the line, Orange Cassidy versus Daniel Garcia, and this was another solid match that they had tonight. However, to be honest, I'm just bored with Orange Cassidy at this point. While he is having matches with really, really great guys, and he's always winning these matches, I just feel like there's just something boring about his character that's just not doing it for me. I personally prefer heel, so it wouldn't matter to me to see Daniel Garcia taking the win. He's super talented. He's a great wrestler. And I wouldn't mind seeing another arrogant guy holding a title in AEW. I just want to see something different when it comes to this title. Either way, it was a super solid match. Because we know how they're like pushing Orange Cassidy to the moon and everything, it didn't seem likely that Daniel Garcia would win this, but at times I felt like he came close and it seemed like that's something that would have been possible. Both these guys are super competitive. Daniel Garcia, he's going to be doing some big things with pro wrestling in the next few years. I definitely see it. However, right now, Orange Cassidy ain't doing it for me. He ends up taking the win anyway. I'm bored with it. I just don't like it. Next, we hear from Christian, and boy, he got some major heat from the crowd today. They were basically booing him out the building. Now, Christian, he is absolutely amazing when it comes to promos, and I like when he's heel. You guys know I love The Undertaker, but right after The Undertaker is Christian for me. He is absolutely excellent in the ring and on the mic. I love him. Now, he really got the crowd worked up to the point that they were chanting that Edge is better, something like that. And it seemed like that probably really got him upset for real. To be honest, the whole storyline with Wardlow, I don't know where they're going. Obviously, it's going to be Christian versus Wardlow for the TNT title, which was a little bit of a twist because I thought they would have just right off the bat it would have been Wardlow versus Luchasaurus, which is not the case. And them having Arn Anderson being a manager for Wardlow, for whatever reason, it's not hitting the way it should hit. And we have to have Christian, who's really experienced on the mic and who can get some really great heat. He comes out and yes, he's saying everything that the crowd doesn't want to hear. And once they started chanting the Edge is better thing or whatever, I really do feel like he was upset about it. But he does say some things that I feel like it's going to spice up the storyline with these guys. For whatever reason, I just don't know where they're going with this storyline. But it did seem like Christian was upset about what the crowd was chanting and the way he just stormed out after that promo. I don't know. But either way, this kind of does help the storylines a bit. Now we have a no-holds-barred match with Anna Jay versus Julia Hart. Number one, I'm so happy we didn't have to see the Outcasts today. Every week, it's one of these girls or all of these girls versus the same girls every week. So I'm glad we got to see something different. Now, this was a no-hold-barred match. I do feel like it was better than their match that they had a couple of weeks ago on Rampage. I do feel like they kind of did poorly and it was their main event. So they needed to add the stipulation to, I don't know, look better as far as the match, because you can have a no holds barred match and focus on, you know, incorporating weapons and having some pretty risky spots that the audience will definitely get behind without you having to really focusing on executing wrestling moves perfectly or whatnot. So I think that really worked in their favor. So it was definitely better. But I don't know. It wasn't my favorite match with the ladies that I've seen, but definitely better. I did not like Julia's look tonight. That's probably nobody cares, but I just felt like she looked a little bit odd compared to how she's been looking. She had this weird like leotard outfit that I just felt like was not fitting of her. Either way, we do have Julia taking the win. To be honest, I don't know where they're going with this storyline. I'm kind of hoping it's done from here. Next, we had the trios titles on the line. House of Black versus Bandito and Best Friends. Number one, I thought the Acclaimed and Daddy Ass won a title shot. I'm not really sure how the Best Friends and Bandito ended up getting their shot first. I really don't know. They did have house rules matches, whatever that's supposed to mean. So right before the match, they had like a list of rules, 20-second count outs, disqualifications will be enforced, and there's a dealer's choice. So what that means is that they get a chance to say whatever they didn't want in the match. And the Best Friends was like, well, they don't want any witches ringside. So basically saying that they did not want to have Julia Hart ringside. Okay, whatever. So that was a little bit weird moment. So with this match here, they did dim the lights in the arena. This is something that they've done before, but they have not consistently done with the House of Black. So I was okay with this. However, for some reason, maybe Bandito is not the best fit for the Best Friends. I do feel like prior to Bandito getting in the match, it was definitely a different type of energy that everyone else was giving. And when Bandito comes into the match, while he has really great energy and it woke up the audience or whatnot, it just still feels really, really different compared to his partners. To be honest, he don't even need to be with these guys to begin with. And also, sometimes I wish the Best Friends would break up. I like Trent Beretta by himself, so I don't know. This is no shade to Chuck or anything, but I just feel like some of these guys don't need to be part of a faction or a trio or a team and whatnot. Bandito definitely being one of them. Like I said, when he got into the ring, it did bring a different type of energy to the ring, but his style just feels so different from the Best Friends that it just feels like he probably should not even be trios with them. This match was okay, but there's something about the House of Black, that I do think that they're a great faction. I do think that individually they're all really, really great. But because we haven't seen them consistently on TV, and because AEW hasn't pushed their storyline even further, it kind of died them down a little bit, and that's a little disappointing because I've had really high hopes about the House of Black being Trios champ. So hopefully we get to see AEW really make some changes with the House of Black as far as storylines go, because the whole thing has definitely died down. House of Black definitely does take the win. I'm not sure where they're going to go from here, but definitely with that All-In pay-per-view coming up, they really need to be having solid storylines, especially with anyone who is holding gold. So I forgot to mention that our homie Orange Cassidy was watching the Trios match backstage, and he ends up getting attacked. After the match, we get to see who got attacked by, and that was by Kyle Fletcher. Kyle Fletcher is part of Aussie Open. If you do follow New Japan, you'd know that he and Mark, they both have two sets of tag titles, the IWGP and the New Japan Strong Openweight tag titles. And they did say at the pay-per-view a couple of weeks ago in New Japan, when they were in Philadelphia, that they were going to be collecting belts just like FTR did last week. So right after he attacks Orange Cassidy, he is holding up the international championship. So I'm pretty sure we're going to see a match with them. Then that would be really, really interesting. I really like Aussie Open, and to be honest, I wouldn't mind seeing them having single matches either. I'm actually looking forward to seeing that. Now on to the main event, and we have so much drama. So let me tell you what I thought was going to happen. What I thought was going to happen was that Kenny and Mox was going to get in the ring, and as soon as the doors closed, I thought BCC were going to come out from under the ring and attack Kenny before the bell even rung, and then we have the Elite come out and probably have some issues trying to get in the ring to help Kenny. That's what I thought they were going with that. But then when I saw the ring and the steel cage, I was like, there's not even enough space for them to come out from under the ring. I figured that was going to happen only because the House of Black match was before that, and it was pretty dark, and I figured nobody would even be able to see these guys even coming out and being under the ring. So I thought that was a possibility, but that's not what happened. What ended up happening is that Kenny comes out, Mox is ready to fight, so they start fighting while Kenny's on his way to the ring. BCC comes out and they attack Kenny Omega. That's without Bryan Danielson. He's actually sitting in commentary. Then the Elite comes out and they're fighting with Wheeler Yuta and Claudio. That actually takes a couple of minutes. So to be honest, I didn't like that kind of ran on a little bit long, because I've been really wanting to see Moxley and Kenny in the ring in a steel cage. So that took like about 3 minutes or so, whatever. I just felt like, okay, yeah, we get it. It's taking too long. The Elite was like walking up to Bryan Danielson while he was in commentary, and the Dragon got up and is like, "Nuck if you buck, don't try that over here." And they don't end up even putting a finger on Danielson, so that I'm okay with. And then we have Kenny and Moxley in the ring, and we have a pay-per-view quality match. Not just a match, but the storyline takes another fucking level. That they could have saved this for a storyline, and it would have just they could have saved the storyline for a pay-per-view, and it would have been perfect. But I'm really, really glad we were able to get this on Dynamite. If you like steel cage matches that are violent, this one's for you. Now, there was some points where I had to look away. Even though I love pro wrestling, sometimes there are certain things that are just a little too squeamish for me. We do have Kenny, who early on brings a steel chair wrapped around with a barbed wire, and they do use this for a couple of minutes early on in the match. So every time somebody got hit with the chair or somebody got fell onto the chair. It was just a little bit too much for me. They continue on. They had like really great wrestling, but then they incorporated, using weapons with this in this match. What I did enjoy was Bryan Danielson on commentary. And he specifically states, because everybody loves to comment about how Jon Moxley is always bleeding, and he says Jon Moxley does not wake up until he starts bleeding. That took me the hell out. I was dying laughing. I thought that was super funny. I love how Bryan just sounds like he says funny things, but he sounds like he have a dry sense of humor. So he really makes me laugh a lot. I really did enjoy this match. Now, we had drama with this as well. We did have Don Callis, who was on ringside. Obviously, the cage is locked up, so he can't come in and do anything. And it just seems like he's just there to support Kenny. Now, we do have a crazy part where while it was during picture-in-picture, and I'm going to say this for the millionth time, main events need to be commercial free. There's no reason why I need to see a tiny little box on my TV and I could barely see what's going on in a match. It needs to be commercial free. Anyway, while they were at the commercial break, we have Moxley, who is removing one of the turnbuckles. And once we come back from the break, he actually puts like the corner of it inside of Kenny's mouth, and he's pulling at his mouth with it, and it actually looks really, really gruesome. But I really do think that it was a really interesting thing, because I've never really seen anybody do that in a match before. Also, he uses the ropes to choke him, and while I thought it was a bit much, at times I felt like, it's Moxley. It's on brand for what he does. Now, they also incorporate some broken glass into the ring, and they're throwing each other onto it or whatnot. It is absolutely insane. Then things take a turn in this match where we have Moxley, who was against the steel cage, and Kenny Omega does a insane V-trigger, and they both, Moxley goes through the steel panel, so the steel panel actually falls out of from the structure, and Jon Moxley falls outside of the ring, while Kenny's left leg was actually caught in between the ring and the steel cage, and it looked like he was actually really hurt. He did call for the doctor to come over and check out his leg. I hope everything's okay with that. But then Kenny, he goes back inside the ring, and Jon Moxley gets a screwdriver, and he goes inside the ring to attack Kenny with the screwdriver, and Don Callis runs his ass up in the ring and grabs it from Jon Moxley, and Jon Moxley just looked back like, what the hell are you doing here, or whatnot, and Kenny Omega takes advantage of that moment and delivers a one-winged angel to Moxley. So, what happens next? We have Don Callis, okay? While he is standing there, I'm thinking, oh, he's going to be happy. Kenny's going to win this match. Instead, he takes the screwdriver and hits Kenny Omega in the head while he was pinning Jon Moxley. Was I surprised? Yes, I was surprised. How many times have I heard people say that Don Callis is going to turn on Kenny Omega? Several times, yes, I've heard that. However, I never thought it was going to be this soon, not even on a Dynamite or anything. This is something that I would have expected to see on a pay-per-view. But either way, everybody in the building was shocked. And Jon Moxley takes advantage of that, and he pins Kenny, and he wins. Now, the only complaint I have with this is that after Jon ends up winning this match, Don Callis actually have another opportunity to hit Kenny Omega with the screwdriver, and he actually decides that he's not going to do it. He goes for it, but he doesn't do it. And I feel like, bro, you already did it. Why not do it again if you're going to go for it? If you're going to do something, don't show any doubt after that. I don't know if he's going to have like some type of alliance with the BCC just because he betrayed Kenny Omega. But if he is going to have some type of alliance with the BCC, then he shouldn't have had any doubts with going to attack Kenny Omega with that screwdriver. To be honest, some of the things that happened in the match is a little bit much for me, but altogether, I do think that everything that happened perfectly. And with Dawn being the one to betray Kenny Omega, I really did enjoy that. They had a really great match, and the storyline is playing out probably exactly like how it should play out. So I'm really enjoying that AEW has really put some thought into this storyline, and I really enjoyed this match, and I cannot wait to see how they move forward with Don Callis and this whole storyline. It was really great. I actually enjoyed the show. There are some moments where it's like, what the hell is going on? But overall, I enjoyed it. If you did not see the main event, please go check it out if it's something you think you can sit through. I absolutely enjoyed the show. Guys, thanks for watching my review. I'll be back tomorrow with ROH review. Bye.